Hi everybody, as Munir said, I'm Kelly Green. I lead IT services for the corporate side of Amazon. And that includes about 500,000 Amazonians right now. And so although my journey doesn't equal the school district in complexity, there was a lot of change required as a result of the pandemic. So before the pandemic, we had about 25,000 active workspaces. Think of them as users, and those tended to be fairly technical users who were using a workspace as an alternative to their everyday work device. So we also had some remote workers, some contingent workforce, and we used workspaces for mergers and acquisitions. So as we onboarded new folks, we would give a workspace as an alternative until we were able to get them a device. So we were happy customers of workspaces before the pandemic and felt it was a really great addition to our IT offering. And then, of course, March 2020, things changed dramatically overnight for me and for all of you in the IT profession. And we knew that with the new hire onboarding being now 100% remote, we were going to have to make changes. Initially, our plan was that everyone would onboard with a workspace and start using that as their very first exposure to working with all of Amazon's tools and technology. So we were excited about the possibilities of security, agility, the cost, because we can obviously spin up these resources and then spin them down as they are no longer needed, scale and support. We saw that this was going to be a way for us to bridge the traditional new hire onboarding experience, which was in person fully. We would fly people across continents to attend a new hire orientation in person prior to the pandemic, and Workspaces was going to be a substitute. We learned some things in that journey. And one of the things that we learned is that people who are onboarding also want their company-issued device if they are eligible for one. There's something about starting a new job and getting everything set up, right? Having everything the way that you're going to work. And so what we found is that we offered both. We started shipping laptops to those people that are eligible, plus having a workspace available. And our story then became, well, if anything should happen, we don't have local IT support available. Your workspace is going to be an alternative that'll keep you up and running. And so we expanded the use cases from our prior to the pandemic, the ones we talked about before, to more onboarding, work from home, and secure access to sensitive data. And we scaled from our 25,000 to 175,000 active workspaces very quickly. So I'll talk to you a little bit about how we did that. So first of all, we onboard on a low volume week about 2,000 new hires in a week. But during the pandemic, as many of you know, Amazon was growing really rapidly. Luckily, I'm not onboarding people into the fulfillment centers, but every corporate Amazonian is someone I'm responsible for getting onboarded. And at the peak of the pandemic, we were onboarding 5,000 people a week. And so we needed to have this week over week growth of 5,000 workspaces, and we needed that to be very self-service oriented. So any user could spin up and get this resource for themselves without the help of IT. So we would get new hires provisioned on the Friday evening for their Monday orientation, and we had a web portal for self-service that we were able to build really quickly. What do I mean by very quickly? Well, 2 engineers who did the scaling from the 25,000 to the 175,000, and they did that in about a week and a half. And that was our effort to build that self-service portal so that everyone could get access to our workspace on their own without the intervention of IT, which is what was required prior to the pandemic. We made sure that we were very well scaled from a cost perspective. Even within Amazon, we're interested in making sure that our AWS costs are not too high, and so we have 88% of our instances that are automatically stopped if users aren't using them. And we also came up with an idea of a restricted workspace. This was really critical to us during the pandemic. As you know, areas of the world, there were geographic restrictions on shipping anything. In India, in South Africa, in other geographies, there was only essential goods allowed to travel on the roads, and our laptops and even our security keys were not allowed to be shipped at different periods during the pandemic. So we came up with the restricted workspace for onboarding only that allowed access to email and certain resources for training and onboarding so that a user could get themselves started and start becoming productive until we could get them that security key and laptop or other device. So that's a little bit about our story, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you after the session.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.